Geeks Gone Wrong.
Says it's your live, so watch now. Okay, so I can look at the I'm doing this so I can look at the comments if comments arise.
Comments. You're a comment necromancer. Comments arise. Comments arise.
Comments arise. That was for you. Comments arise. I like doing it like that sometimes. There is a song. Did I ever tell you about Laid to Rest?
Alright, hold that thought 1 second. Let me get the beverage to parch my parched lips.
To quench your thirst? Go. My man tripping, bro. What's happening, people? Scarfinger. Scargasm. About to happen. Nepo on this thing. Yo. About to get the show started in a very brief moment. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Now, I don't think Ninpo, I don't know what a Ninpo is, but, it's, I haven't played anything and I haven't done anything. I have been sick for the past week, so I've done extremely little. Like, extremely little, other than watch a little bit of TV and such. So, when Chase comes back, I'll kind of explain, kind of get it all out there, because, I made myself sick, and I am paying big time for it. So, fun times for me. But, now we're just waiting on Chase to go get his drink so we can get the show started. How y'all doing out there? They say we got 3 people watching. I mean, that may not stay for long. What's up, people? Gotta keep my pinky up, you know what I'm saying? So the show's gonna start in a moment. Just waiting on Chase. What the hell is that? I wasn't looking. I mean, you seem to have some dysfunction with your headphones. You okay there, buddy?
Chrysomo said Ninpo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like
I don't know about no Ninpo.
We Nipo. But yeah, look, I found...
What is that? Is that beer?
Yeah. I tried to pour it as light as I possibly could, and I found this big-ass mason jar, and I was like, you know what would be good for the podcast? Drinking out
mason jar full of beer.
Yeah.
I will do a podcast, and you will have a beer.
And I...
That was a catchy ass song, and I mean, it shit ain't got nothing to do with me. But like, you know the song I'm talking about? Is Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? Yeah, by the chick who made Bitch, right?
Yeah, Amber likes that song a lot.
Yeah. While you go have a beer. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know why she
says
says beer like that. I don't know why.
It's like bear.
Beer. I don't know why.
Where the cowboy's gone.
I mean, it's a catchy ass song. Like, you know, I'm not really a big fan.
Yeah,
but you know, like when Big came out,
because sometimes I'll just like be like, you know what? I don't really feel like listening to an album. I just want to fucking turn on Pandora and just like do like 90s rock, because that's what the rock and roll station sounded like when I was in high school. And just like, and that song came on and everybody was like, I like this song. I was like, you do? Bear. But
I don't know how to like type that out as the title of the episode. I don't know how to type out like I don't know how to type that out. I don't know how to convey that through just text.
But beer in this mason jar is the epitome of bear.
I have some mason jars that I actually made some candles out of. I made a couple of tester candles, and they were actually pretty cool. But I didn't actually. I see. Here's the problem. They were actual mason jars. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so they have like the imprinting on, like, it's not printed, but it's like raised.
You mean where it says mason?
Like that. Yeah. So like I also made some smaller, some pint. Some 8-ounce jars. It was a fuck of a time trying to figure out where the hell I can put my label on those things, because there's a lot of stuff all the way around the thing. So I just kind of put it on the back. There's a part where it says ball, and then I just put it above the ball. Above the ball.
Well, the thing is, I was already ready to make it like a phallic joke when you were talking about there was all this stuff all around the thing, and then you went into above the ball.
Yeah, so far above the ball is the winner.
Because I was like, well, there is a lot of stuff around the thing until you get into manscaping.
Manscaped, like we need a fucking sponsor. We need a Manscaped sponsor. I mean, I probably should Manscaped, and I'll tell you why. First of all, welcome everyone to Scarcasm Podcast. We are delighted to be here today and in the joyous company of each other. I feel like in the last week or so, we've talked to each other a lot. Mm-hmm. And because generally we don't really speak a lot in between shows.
Right. Because we were doing the testing out of the Discords, which ended up being a Patreon-only video. I don't know if the Patreons have actually checked it out or not, but
I don't know if I actually put it up or not. But because my week has been fucked. But before we do that, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my hardest to do some of the deets. Okay.
All right. So you can find the show on geeksgoneraw.com. You can also find Scarcasm Live on any of the. Okay. You can find the show on anywhere that you can find podcasts, including Spotify and everything else. Yeah, she's just not going to be quiet. She's just not. She's just like, nah, I'm fuck quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So should I start over?
She just scarred your podcast.
Yeah, she did. Hi, this is Mike. I'm Mike, aka Starfinger. And this is the Scarcasm Podcast. Chase is in the building, and we are going to do a podcast for you. You can find the show at everywhere where you can find podcasts, including Spotify and Google. You can find it in Apple, iTunes, Stitcher. Stitcher is still a very popular destination to listen to the show.
I think we should look at our some of our best shows that are the most iconic, inside jokey type shows, and press those bitches on vinyl.
The way my wallet's set up, I don't think I got wallet vinyl. But again, you can find the show on geeksgoneraw.com. I have not been to that website in quite some time. Like, it automatically posts the show there when I post the show, but I have not been there in quite some time. I paid a domain every year, but then the link to the Patreon is in the show. Right now we still have 2 patrons. Shout out to Cam and Ron Block, my dudes. And yeah, I think that's it. But now I'm going to tell you about why manscaping is necessary. I have not done very much this past week at all because I was and am still sick. Mm-hmm. I do not feel at my best right now. And this is not like last time. This is not something I did to myself. Well, not intentionally. Right. So here's what happened. Not last Saturday, the Saturday before, I was going to, I had to go to my ex-girlfriend's house to go get some more stuff. Uh-huh. I think we've officially graduated to ex-girlfriend, but we still cool. So I was going to my ex-girlfriend's house to pick up more stuff. And before I went there, I took a shower and everything, and I had a bump inside of my thigh. And it was a little bit painful. Mm-hmm. So just like any man, I tried to pop it to release the pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gotta release that pressure.
And it didn't pop.
Made it worse.
Unbeknownst to me, it absolutely did make it worse. And it, over the course of the time, I got up, I put my clothes on, I went to her house, grabbed the things that I needed, and by the time I was leaving her place, I started not to feel very good. Mm-hmm. And so I came home and I just kind of laid down. I just didn't feel good. Then the next day, that Sunday, I felt worse. And I just pretty much spent most of the weekend at that point just kind of laying in the bed.
All right.
Turns out that when it didn't pop, it spread underneath my skin. And so it had grown underneath my skin. It widened underneath my skin. And basically all of the nastiness that should have came out, if it actually popped, is basically infected me. So I tried to hold it off for a couple of days. I think Monday I felt good enough to go to work. So I went to work. You
would call an abscess?
I believe that's what they called it. Mm-hmm. So I went to work on Monday, and I felt fine until about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I started feeling really bad, like I was feeling just as sick as I was Saturday and Sunday. So I just kind of like didn't do anything, just kind of let it be. And then Tuesday, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do overnight. Like at some point it did pop. So I'm like putting stuff on it, like trying to keep it clean, and it's like draining and stuff like that. I know this is a little bit too gross. And then, so on Tuesday, I go to work and I tell my job, like, yo, I'm going to do my morning stuff because the most important part of my day is first thing in the morning, where I call all of the emails and all of that kind of stuff that came in overnight. So I said, once I get this done, I need to go to the store. I need to go to the doctor. So I go to the doctor and I have like gauze strapped to the inside of my thigh, and it's like my upper thigh, so it's like right in the crease. And that's where the manscaping comes in, because had I manscaped, life would be so much easier without my hair pulling, because I have to strap gauze to my leg, which is right near my balls, for the better part of a week. So fun times for me. And I learned something. I learned something very, very important. Even if your balls are not hurt or there is not anything wrong with your balls.
Okay.
If alcohol touches your balls, it burns exactly the same. I learned that. I learned that about myself. You know, there's some people that say that your balls have like taste buds. So like you can dunk your balls into something and you can taste it. I've never tried that. All I know is these motherfuckers feel pain.
Tasting lotion?
I don't know because I don't. You know, there ain't been no lotion down there in a while. As I can tell you, I haven't manscaped. So, yeah, so that was fun. And then I went to the doctor, and of course, it's like very uncomfortable because I have to take off my pants. They let me keep my drawers on, but then I have to like half spread eagle so that the doctor can look at it. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and like, I'm like holding my dick to the side, like away from it. So it's just like, please just don't touch my dick, lady. But you know, I'm currently not in a relationship, so I probably should have invited some things. But you know what I mean? Like it just felt uncomfortable, like having to like half spread eagle.
You don't want to be inviting those things in a professional setting in 2021, brother. I'm looking out for you.
Yeah. So I don't want to do no inviting or anything like that. So I hold my dick and I pull it to the side, and I'm like half spread eagle, and it's like the most uncomfortable thing ever. So she kind of takes a look at it, and she tells me, you know, keep doing what I was doing, keep the gauze and stuff on it. Don't put nothing else on it. Just keep the gauze on it. Sometimes you gotta let it breathe a little bit. So, like, when I get home and I'm home for the day, like, I'm walking around in my drawers, and I just kind of pull the drawers to the side, and I'm, like, half spread eagle on my couch.
You're like, damn, I hit my microphone. But you were just, like, rapid fire, like, song titles. Like, just put the gauze on it. Or, sometimes you gotta let it breathe a little. You know?
Yeah. So it was just, and I have not, and they gave me not one, but 2 antibiotics that I have to take twice a day. So so I'm loaded up with medicine. I still don't feel great. And I've done very, very little this week as a result. I kept trying my hardest to get up to play Mass Effect, and every time I went to try it, it was just kind of like, I don't think this is going to happen today.
Well, before all this, did you get any Mass Effect in?
The furthest I've gotten, I've gotten through Eden Prime, and I just had the conversation when you wake back up. That is as far as I've gotten.
Wow. Like, but I did notice, I think I think it's different now, because some of them started being less shiny, and I'm talking about like trophies and achievements and stuff. But when I first started playing, like finishing Eden Prime was like a 4% of players super shiny trophy. I was like, really? Are people just putting this in to see what it looks like and turning it off?
It sounds like it. Or they're playing the other games, because like no one likes to play 1, and including me. And I understand that they made some changes to 1, but so far, doesn't feel any different.
Well, I think it looks different, and it definitely has a different look.
But you're also playing on PC, right?
Yeah. But I looked at it on Amber's Xbox Series. Or, not Series, Xbox One S. And it looks better on my PC, of course, but it does look better than what the 360 version looked like. And,
yes, I can clearly tell that it's better than that, but I don't see, probably because I'm not playing in 4K 120 frames per second.
Well, I heard that because I'm playing 1440p 60, if Amber got the Series S or Series X, see, the Xbox has fucked me all up, like all these fucking. But if she got the X, and then she could either choose to do 1440 at 120 or 4K at 60. And I was like, even if you did 1440 at 120, you're already doing better than I am on my PC.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the only thing. And then yesterday, I went back to my ex-girlfriend's house because I was going to wash some clothes. Like I said, we still cool. I'm going back to my ex-girlfriend's house, and I brought my Xbox. I bent my sick ass down there, and I unhooked my Xbox because while she was at work, I was like, well, I'm not really doing anything but washing clothes. Maybe I can get a little Mass Effect in. And I started to feel so bad. I was balled up on the couch. Like, it's just laying there waiting for the damn dryer to buzz so that I could go switch some shit out. Like, it was bad. Like, it was real bad. And I feel okay right now, but I still don't feel very good.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you if you're okay to do a podcast, but
Nah, I definitely could do this. Like, shit, I did the last podcast in immense pain. Like, no one could understand how much pain I was in. Like,
I thought you were about to say nobody can understand anything I was saying.
Yeah, no, I was in a lot of pain, and I was in a lot of unmedicated pain because the medicine that I have for it makes me drowsy, so I couldn't take the medicine. So yeah, so I was in a lot of pain last time, a lot of it emotional, but like in a lot of all of it self-inflicted, depressive. Hello. And I still no one could know. I told you I was gonna Robin Williams that shit up. Like, you know what I mean? Like no one's gonna understand what state I'm truly in right now. So I made sure I said that at the beginning of the show, and then the rest of the show went on without a hitch. Mm-hmm. But that's also leading us to today, man. I watched a little bit. And I wish that I had played some because that would have been, it would have been something worth talking about. But eventually, I'm going to be forced to play something for the show. Please tell them about the poll that we got going on in Discord.
Oh yeah, in Discord, in the shout box, and if you click the pins, which you just click the pins and the pins,
the pins, PINS, not depends.
Yeah, you click the pins.
No, because I'm not that old, bro.
And then you can just use the promo code SCARCASM and
get your 10% off Viagra. Get 10% off your first order of Viagra or Cialis. Oh shit! I hate me. Shit.
Yeah, if we get sponsors, I mean, we gotta send us to fucking.
Yeah, this is gonna be the please sponsor us show because we already talking about Manscaped. We're talking about Viagra and Cialis. Which we
gotta get a Raid Shadow Legends. I mean, everybody's got that shit.
For real? Why not me? Why not me, Raid Shadow Legends? Like, why not me? Mm-hmm. I mean, other than the fact that I don't play mobile games. Yeah. That's not saying that I wouldn't try. That's not saying I wouldn't try your game, Raid Shadow Legends. But anyway, so we do have a poll up in the Discord. I think it's on Facebook also, but I think I only shared it once. And we each the four of us, me, you, Sam, and Scott, we all chose a game that's on Game Pass so that people who have Game Pass, or if you have it already, you can play. We all chose 4 games, and the winner we all have to play and talk about it on a separate podcast. We're probably going to go back and use the Nepo show. So there's that part of it.
I mean, if you're watching on Twitch, this is the Nepo channel. So.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah.
I was sitting here trying to think about what that guy said. The Ninpo. Maybe he's saying Ninja. I never play on easy.
That's possible. That is very, very, very possible. And I don't know what to say about that. That's quite possible. And then you also had you also had an amendment to Nepo in general.
Yeah, I was like, because ninjas, it's so awkward to say. I mean, because I was like, well, I
don't say ninja.
I wasn't always, I know, but I wasn't always, like, Nepo, you know what I mean? I mean, I played all the Call of Duties and Halos and stuff on hardest difficulty, but once I kind of hit like 30, I was like, fuck this shit. So it was like, I'm over 30, now I play on easy, you know, and then that works Nepo, you know?
Yeah, it works. I mean, whatever you want it to be, let it work for you. But y'all know what I say.
Yeah.
Because, I say nigga a lot. A whole lot.
You know what's funny? Like, the first time I ever heard you on a podcast was on EDG, and you were, like, so clean, and I heard your actual podcast, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, see, I can do clean, but why the fuck would I do that? Like, it makes no sense.
But my introduction to you was like how people are introduced to like Robin Williams, to where it's like they see him on Mrs. Doubtfire, and then they go and watch one of his stand-ups.
And it's like, whoa, this is different. But see, during that podcast, I said in the beginning, I have my own podcast, and it's very blue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I told y'all from the jump. It's very blue.
But saying like my podcast is blue versus my podcast is explicit, what does it sound like? Well, maybe I might just say damn every now. Ooh, I said
no. Blue, but do you know what blue means?
Yeah, it means to me it meant it was explicit, but it wasn't like R-rated. You know what I mean? This shit's
no, like, my shit the hardest of R. Like the word I like saying with the hardest of R's. But it's I realized that as much as I say the N-word, I learned in the past week I don't say the N-word nearly enough when compared to people like Kwame Brown. Do you know who Kwame Brown is? Okay, so there's been this ongoing thing for the past week, and it has been glorious. I've been watching like all the videos. So Kwame Brown was drafted, and he was the first player straight out of high school drafted to the NBA. And he was drafted to a team that had Michael Jordan on it when Michael Jordan was on the Wizards. Okay. And Michael Jordan had a hand in drafting him. And for years, people have been calling him a bust because he never lived up to his potential. And there's this podcast called All the Smoke. And it stars two former NBA players, Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. And mostly they talk to other basketball players, but they also branch out and talk to people in other sports and things. And they were having a conversation. Well, it was two separate podcasts. One, they were having a podcast with the lady who owns the Lakers, and she was mentioning a trade that brought them in a player, and he was on that team. And he was one of the players going out. And when she went to mention him, they were, it was two players going out. They were bringing one in. Basically, they kind of started being a little mouthy. Was like, yeah, only one player was involved in that trade. Like totally dismissing him. And he's been dismissed for years, and he hasn't said anything. He hasn't bothered anybody. And then they had another one of his teammates, Gilbert Arenas, who used to be the point guard for the Washington Wizards, after Michael Jordan left. And they talked a little bit about him, but it was not. It was, you know, they weren't like completely dissing him, but they weren't being very nice. And so I guess it's been like 20 years since Kwame Brown has been was drafted into the league. I think he was drafted in 01 or 02. So it's been like 20 years, and they've been talking the same shit for 20 years, and he has had enough. Absolutely had enough. He was the first round draft pick in 01. So every day since, he heard the show, and every day since, he has been going at those two dudes and anyone else who has said anything about him. Now, during all of this time, I don't think anyone has ever really heard him speak that much. And, you know, he's from South Carolina. He a country dude. And even though he has a little bit of right-leaning politics, what he has to say is the most... I don't know if some of it is funny, some of it is unintentionally funny, but it's all fucking hilarious. And he is going at these dudes, and then anyone else who has something to say, he is going at them. And he live streams every day, multiple times a day, talking shit about these people, and everyone who comes at him, they're getting the smackdown. Like, it's bad. And it's like, this dude has obviously had enough of people talking about him. And it is the most entertaining thing I have seen in quite some time. One of the first videos that he did a short video while he was in the car, and then he goes inside and he talks about these dudes for a fucking hour. I mean, literally talks shit about them for a fucking hour. But in the middle of that, he's also dropping some jewels about him in his playing time and all of this stuff. Like, y'all keep saying that I was a bust, but like, Michael Jordan got me because they were going to put me in a trade for someone else, and then the owner of the Wizards canceled that trade. So now I'm stuck here with Michael Jordan, someone who absolutely doesn't want me. You know what I mean? Like, and all of that kind of stuff. And then, like, you know, they only put me in the game in like the garbage minutes. Like, you know, we're down by 30, send Kwame in. Like, and you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how do you expect me to really get into the flow of a game where I'm not actually getting in the game? And like, and then they were like, yo, you know, you keep saying that he's a bust, but he was in the league for 13 years. So like, how does a bust stick around for 13 years? Which is a good question. So he's just like going at everybody. And like going at Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith has kept the same energy this whole time. Stephen A. Smith pretty much made a living out of going at this dude. They said he was going on college tours, talking to people, talking about how bad Kwame Brown is. So like, you know, like, so that's like, you know, this is something that's crazy. And like, I'm sorry, but like, if you made it to the NBA, not just the fact that you're number one overall and you came straight out of high school, but if you made it to the NBA, like, how can anybody call you anything other than one of the lucky ones? You know what I mean? Like,
because even if you're not the star, you still made it. You're still there, man.
And you still make millions of dollars. They said over the course of his career, he made $63 million.
Yeah.
$63 million is not a little bit of money. You know what I mean?
Those millions, he's got 63 of them.
Exactly. So this has been the most entertaining thing in my life this past week when I can't really do a whole lot. I have reveled in this. This is greatness. He even went at have you ever heard of The Breakfast Club?
The movie?
No, the morning radio show in New York.
Oh no.
Okay, so one of the dudes from the Breakfast Club, his name is Charlemagne the God, and Charlemagne the God was talking about this, and he brought up the fact that his father was in prison. And he brought up the fact that his that his father cheated on his mom, and he had kids by another lady. And it's just like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, what's the point of bringing that up? So he went into Charlemagne's past, and Charlemagne has a charge where he pled to a lesser charge where he didn't get charged with rape of a 15-year-old. He got charged with delinquency of a minor. Mm-hmm. And he's been going at this for days. And apparently today Charlemagne apologized to him. Like, it's getting really bad. And like some of these people are like coming back and like apologizing to him. And it's crazy because like that one dude who has been picked on for 20 fucking years is now on the offensive, and people are fucking afraid. I mean, outside of the fact that Kwame Brown is 6'11". You know what I mean? Like, he's 6'11", dude lives on a farm. Does he does a lot of those videos from his truck. And one time he was pulling along his tractor, those type of things. But like, I mean, it's crazy how this whole thing has gone down, and I've been here for it all week long. But what I was coming back to why I originally said this, I don't say nigga nearly as much as he does. like that's nearly. I don't say nigga nearly as much as he does. He says it a whole lot, and
36 minutes later, and we got the payoff of why you were talking about him in the first place.
Yeah. You're welcome, motherfuckers. but I mean, like I said, this is where most of my week, other than work, this is where most of my week has gone. Like, I tune in every fucking day. Like, every day. Because I can't get enough of this. It's that fucking entertaining.
But yeah, I mean, my week has been pretty good. I mean, it was a short week because I went out of town. But before that, I mean, yes, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition came out, and I played it through the weekend and pretty much every night until I went out. I haven't played it last night or tonight. But
where'd you go? Is there something you want to say or something you want to
say? I went to Hendersonville to visit the in-laws.
How far away from you is Hendersonville?
5 hours.
Jesus.
4.5.
Okay.
It used to be 5 when we lived in 4 Oaks, but now it's 4.5. We're 30 minutes closer.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, that was cool. It just wasn't cool that our littlest one was like rambunctious as shit. But the thing is, I was like, I'm pretty sure that Riley doesn't have the problems that Aiden did. But when Aiden was young, and we would go, all those kids were also right around Aiden's age. Tristan is 2 years younger than him, and then Jessie the girl is right around his age, and then Kaylee is 2 years older than him, right? So when Aiden was 3, they were all toddlers, you know what I mean? So my 3-year-old now is really wanting to hang out with all these teenagers, and they don't want a 3-year-old around because he's throwing stuff and wanting to be wild, and they're worried that their Xbox is going to get broken. So.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, it makes sense from the perspective. I learned something about teenagers over these past couple of weeks. And this is mostly due to my teenager.
Yeah.
Teenagers are fucking assholes.
Aiden is now a teenager. He had a birthday on... That's the reason we were there. We scheduled the trip around his birthday because we've done that before where we had his birthday there. And, so yeah.
So he's 13?
Yep. I poked my in-law in the face, wake her up, and was like, okay, today I'm the father of a teenager. And then Chris, he's the oldest. He's like he's like 20 or so. He's older than 18. But I was like, because it's been 3 years since we went, I was like, I'm the father of a teenager, and Chris is bald. That must mean I'm ancient.
It's a weird feeling, and I just went through this a couple of months ago because Pooh Bear turned 13 in February. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just like this is like super. It's like super weird. But teenagers are such assholes. Like, oh my god, why? I can't imagine me being this much of an asshole when I was a teenager. I know that I wasn't the best person when I was a young teenager.
I get it why all the older people were like, kids, get off my lawn, and you didn't want to be that. You're like, I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be young forever, you know what I mean? Top shit. And then, but it was like, if you want to know how you're going to be when you're older, look at you with someone like 3 years younger than you and be like, oh, I don't want to hang out with those little kids. I'm a teenager. That's how you, that sentiment goes with you to where you're like, okay, you're like 30 and those 24-year-olds, man, fuck them. They don't even know who fucking.
For me, it was worse because it was like, I was class of 98.
Yeah.
For high school. Class of 99 were a bunch of dicks. Like, I didn't want nothing to do with class of 99. Like, I really didn't. Like, class of 99 was the absolute fucking worst. And, I mean, really, the class of 99 was the worst. So I've always had something against just the next class below me.
Uh-huh.
But then again, I should have been the class of 97. So that may make up some of that. I should have been the class of 97. I failed a grade.
Yeah, yeah, same with me, but I didn't fail a grade. I just, got held back one thing for kindergarten. So it made me just a little bit. So I graduated at 19 versus 18, But I had, school started. Plus I have an early birthday, February.
Mine is in September, so my senior year of high school started, and 2 weeks later I turned 18.
Yeah.
2 weeks later I'm 18. So I'm looking down on all of the children. The funniest thing being now and being an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Even college kids look like little kids to me right now.
I hate that shit.
They look like they so much look like little kids, and I'm just kind of like, yo, how did this happen? How did it happen where I can watch a marching band video and I'm looking around at these people playing these instruments, and I was like, wow, these are children. And then the weird feeling that I have if I'm watching something in a live stream or something like that, when they start where the guys start oogling the dancers and such, and I'm just kind of like, bruh, you have no idea how old she is. You know what I mean? I don't know if I really want.
You're like, yeah, they in college, but they could be really fucking smart.
Exactly. And it could be like Bomani Jones. Bomani Jones started college when he was 16.
Yeah.
So no, I ain't doing no oogling. Y'all got a female band director, she got ass though. That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. I'm not looking at anybody on the field as if that's somebody that I should pay attention to. I'm trying to find the adults in the room. And be like, yo, she got ass though? That type of thing. So yeah, it's just so weird, and then it just happens all of a sudden. When I moved up here, I went to a high school band competition, and there was a couple of colleges, but it was mostly high schools. And I'm looking around at all of these students, and I'm like, yo, these are fucking babies. And they could have been 18, they could be their senior year or whatever. And they all look like babies to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's generational too, how yeah, we see that. We see the difference where we don't want to hang around with people that are. I mean, every now and again, I'll find like some like super smart, like 24-year-old dude, and that's hanging around with the game store, and it's not even like we're even separate age because we have similar interests. You know what I mean? But
right.
But for the most part, and the similar interest thing, you know, I think like our fathers and our grandfathers' age, it's like they had to grow up so fast to where like there wasn't a thing to where like, oh, I'm gonna hang on to my hobbies. It's like, no, right. I'm going to fucking work, and they had the opportunity to like get really fucking jobs really young, and you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot about that, and there's a long conversation about that, especially when it comes to like what contributed to the downfall of our society, and it's the '60s. 100%, it's the '60s. And you know, most of that is the break from tradition that happened in the '60s. You know, the free love movement and hippies and shit like that, like they were the first group to not like graduate high school or leave high school early so they can go fucking work. You know what I mean? Like raising families and raising families at 17. You know what I mean? Like this in the 60s, they were the first group to not do that.
Yeah. So you think that was a bad thing or a good thing, or kind of like neither?
I think there were some good points to it, and there's some bad points to it, because there's elements of that tradition that should have been upheld. You know, the family unit is fractured because, you know, grandma ain't grandma no more. Grandma in the club. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, big mama go to the club. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry. You're in North Carolina. Meemaw is in the club. And, you know, like, Meemaw is living her best life. Like, Pawpaw done passed away from a heart attack from working for 30 years. And Meemaw in the club. Like, she is living her best life. She, you know... She's doing the things that were, you know, that was the break of that tradition. And then in that break of tradition, there was also the death of the family. I think the death of the family is really what has contributed to the break in our society. And I know there's a lot of people that will say, well, but you know, black fathers and blah, 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 whatever. No, I think it's on both sides, because, you know, divorces are so common that we don't even fucking think about this shit anymore.
Well, I think as of actual divorce numbers have gone down, but I think that's not like people that got married in the 70s. Like, I don't know the actual statistics, but it's like a lot of them got divorced. Like my parents' age. You know what I mean? To where there's not like grandma and grandpa, and it's just grandma and grandpa. It's like grandma and grandpa and grandma and grandpa and grandma.
but even with that, because I've seen it in my own home. You know, I've seen it. You know, my parents were divorced. By the time I was old enough to understand what was happening, my parents were already divorced. And so, like,
but do you think that now it's the fact that people are staying together reason the divorces are down, or is it that people are just not getting married and you don't even see the numbers?
No, man, I think now, especially like right now, social media has a lot to do with this.
Social media screwed up like a lot of shit there.
Yeah, social media has a lot to do with this, because like, yo, if I am not feeling good about my relationship right now, instead of having to go to my significant other and trying to figure out how to work this shit out, all I have to do is say something cryptic on Facebook or Twitter or something like that, and people just kind of show up in your DMs. It's basically like someone is saying, like, you don't like the meal you got? Oh, here's another meal. And with that, you know, like, people can only dodge that temptation but for so much. Like, if they don't feel like things are going the way that they want to in their marriage or in their relationship, like it's a foregone conclusion that eventually someone who slides in those DMs going to get through. Then your relationship or your marriage could just be toast. It's happened to me twice. So I 100% understand that. It's happened to me twice. It happened. So like, I 100% understand how this goes. I could just be talking from personal experience, or I could just be talking the truth. I mean, if you don't know, look around your own life. Like look around your own life and the couples that you know of. If they're on Facebook, or if they're on Twitter, or that usually leads them to going further with that, where they're on Plenty of Fish, or they're on, what I mean? Like, it's on, they're on these apps and they're just talking to people. I'm just talking to people. I'm not really doing anything. And it just leads, it's just a snowball that's just going to lead to some fuck shit happening.
Because the first thing you crave is that, interaction. And then,
yes. I think a lot of times it's for the attention that you're not getting the same kind of attention from your significant other that you think that you should be. I mean, it's a lot of that
and then they also don't know that, the baggage that the one you're with has, the baggage that the one you're talking to probably has even more bags, and then and you just end up with a fucked up situation like the Ashley Madison situation, where someone took all of that stuff from Ashley Madison and they put it all on the internet. And it's just it's all of this is just like it's just a small part of what today is like. You know what I mean? Like it's not anything unusual for today, but compared to what it was in yesteryear, before we had these things and before we had access to the world in our pockets. And see, that's the thing, is it just like made everything go so fast. Like 2000, yeah, I know 2006 was a long fucking time ago. Like as we get older, we don't see time like we did when we were kids. But 2006 was 10 years ago in 2016. You know what I mean? And 2016 was that 14? 14? I've had all this beer, so it was 2006. Is that 14 years?
2006?
Yeah.
Or
6.
That would be 2000. 20 would be 16. 21 would be 17, right?
Okay. Well, 2016 would be 10. So 21 from 20. That would be 4 years, right? From 16 to 21. Or that's 5. I don't know.
I'm tripping. My head hurt. All right.
So it's over a decade. So, but it's only over a decade. It's not like it's 30 years ago. But we see...
It's 15. It's 15. The answer is 15.
Okay. God.
No, I'm tripping. My fucking hair hurts so bad right now. And you've been drinking. You've been drinking out of a mason jar. I'm drinking beer out of a mason jar.
But yeah, like, so 15 years. Yeah, yes, I know that's a long fucking time. But it's not 30 years. It's not 40 years. But it fucking feels like it, because think of 2005 or 2004, and think of what we were doing and how we were doing things. It might as well have been 1930. I mean, because of how social media has changed the world.
Yeah. Like, someone posted a thing that said, if Back to the Future happened today, and it went back in time to the same amount of time, we'll be going back to 91.
That's what, like, someone posted a picture of, like, some sort of social, like civil rights unrest from the 60s. I was like, people don't know, like, okay, 97, that's the same amount of time as this picture was taken as 97 is to us. And then everyone was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, I tell people all the time when they talk about, like, people speak like the civil rights movement was so long ago. And I'm like, yo, Ruby Bridges is still alive. She's in her 60s. Like, you know, some of these people who were like the first people to integrate schools and stuff like that and had to have the fucking National Guard call for them to go to fucking school. Like, she's still in her 60s.
Dude.
She's still here.
Okay, I want to make sure this shit's true, but I think I saw it on Google.
Ruby Bridges is 66 years old. She was one of the first.
Okay,
she was one of the first kids to integrate schools in the South.
Okay, the first you talk about the first. I'm about to talk about the last. All right, the last school to integrate was Cleveland High School in Mississippi, Cleveland, Mississippi. That happened in 2016.
Jeez, that's crazy. Like, you know, like all of this, like someone posted this thing, right? And they said that if Anne Frank and Martin Luther King would still be alive, right?
Yeah, and they could be.
They would both be the same age as Barbara Walters. Like, we think of these people as being so long ago.
Yeah.
They would be the same. They were all born in the same year.
It's because of technology, man. You look at, like, a picture from when they were young, and that's the only picture you have of them because they died. Right. So it's like these old-ass fucking looking pictures. You don't have a picture of old-ass Anne Frank. You know, in 2016.
Right. So, like, it's like there's like the perspective on time. First of all, it's like really weird.
Yeah.
When it's like really weird when you're like my age. I'm 41.
Yeah.
And like I think of my childhood, and it's just like, yo, that was fucking 89. Do you know how long ago that feels? But it doesn't feel as long as it seems like it should feel, but like,
well, just to some our time, like when we were talking before the podcast last night about like Nickelodeon shows, how like for me, who was 10 years old in 94, so for me, like, so as of how my schools went, each year was matched my school year. So in 91, I was in first grade. 92, I was in second grade. So like before 95, all those shows feel like my Nickelodeon. And all those shows that were like in middle school, I watched it, but it still felt like new shit, like Hey Arnold and stuff. And but stuff that happened in the 2000s, I didn't fucking watch it all, like Recess and shit. You know what I mean? And people were like seeing that as retro, but like I was like, Recess, that's like new shit. But like that's like really new shit. But yeah, but then you look at the time span, like your childhood is basically between you being a newborn to you being 10 years old. That's the difference in now and like 2011. You know what I mean? Like that's your childhood. But to you when you were a child, that's like the whole fucking universe. Like the difference in like 94 and 97 to me is huge. The difference in 99 and 2002 is huge because you start growing so rapidly, like your interest in stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I tried to back before I had internet. I tried to play my daughter Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We were watching the first season, and she stopped watching it because it was too old. It was too 90s for her. Like, and then I just realized like the show started 11 years before she was alive. You know what I mean?
It's like your dad like trying to be like, y'all, man, let's start at season 1 of the Jeffersons. We're gonna go through it all.
Oh yeah, I'm about that life. I'm about that life. I want to hear somebody call some people some honkies. Damn, Lenny Kravitz mama playing that. Like, it's all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
But see, I'm thinking about
you
it.
would still see it as like an old show. You're not going to look at it and be like, "Oh, this looks modern." Like,
yeah, but I'm from that bridge area where I grew up before and after technology was involved.
Yeah, but like the thing is,
but so that means I still have some sort of reverence for the old stuff.
Yeah,
so
me
like,
too. Like I to where I was like just thinking about, I would play music that not even really fucking that old, like that I might have like discovered when I was an adult, you know, like from early 2000s, maybe late 90s or whatnot. And people seen it, oh, that's old music. I was like, but when I was in high school, it's not like we were just listening to shit. I mean, we were listening to Led Zeppelin and shit, you know? I mean, we didn't see it. We knew it was old.
Don't say we. We're talking about Led Zeppelin's thieving asses. You don't say we. I didn't start listening to rock music at all until the end of my high school career. Probably about. I'm talking about
the royal we. Like we were listening to old music, and it didn't seem like old music. I mean, it seemed like old music, but it didn't seem like, oh, I'm not going to listen to Dad's music. I mean, we were excited to like check out, you know, like I said, Led Zeppelin, Marvin Gaye, like Sam.
I wouldn't. But now as an adult, I'm like, I wish I would have engaged with that stuff more with him. My dad, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
but it's not like we didn't know who Sam Cooke was. Like, some of these kids don't even know who Smashing Pumpkins are. I'm like, because there's nothing to, I don't know what it is other than the internet, and they have it at the fingertips, but there's nothing telling them. Like,
I go through this very often with my child. Because she loves K-pop, and K-pop is basically a ripoff of late 90s, early 2000s urban music. There's a lot of it in there, and almost every song that I hear, it sounds like someone else. And it sounds like something I've heard before. And she hates the fact that I talked about it.
Is it actually stealing, or is it like, oh, this is inspired by?
I mean, a lot of it is like, this is inspired by. It's clear that a lot of the rappers were very much inspired by New York. Even though here, the South won. You know what I mean? The South very much won. But a lot of them sound like New York rappers. Like, there's this one dude that was like, I was listening to a song with my daughter, and I was like, yo, that dude wants to be Busta Rhymes. I was like, who is Busta Rhymes? So I play her a couple of Busta Rhymes songs, and she goes, oh. Hey, but I still like him. You know, and then shout out to my Pooh Bear. My Pooh Bear recorded her first podcast this weekend. I'm very proud of her. I didn't tell her that in person because she's kind of a little bit of an asshole. I told you, teenagers are assholes.
But at least she kind of stands her ground on what she likes versus like, well, I can't like this anymore because of this or whatnot.
No, her and I have had those conversations about K-pop and her nightmares. We've had those conversations many, many times. But she just doesn't understand. She doesn't understand the world, so I can't really say very much else other than that. But like almost everything that I've heard from K-pop sounds like something I've heard before. And honestly, sounds like something I've heard done better. Mm-hmm. But my daughter decided she wanted to record herself. She did a solo show. It's as I understand it, it's about K-pop. She hasn't shared it with me yet. I don't think she wants to. She was talking about recording a solo podcast, and she was like, "Dad, I recorded for 30 minutes. My mouth hurts." And I was just like, "I could do 45 minutes without trying." Like, you know,
going for an hour to just right now.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour, and we haven't
this
really.
This is like the 2017 shit. I haven't recorded like this in a long time to where I'm like sloppy, you know.
Yeah, I love being sloppy. I love these kind of podcasts. I love a conversation between friends. I don't love these are all of the points that I feel like I need to hit, and I need to regurgitate these press releases or news articles and all of this other stuff. I like it being a conversation between friends. That should mean something to me more than anything else. Like I typically get bored with shows that are like super topical.
Yeah.
It's just like, because a lot of times like a lot of y'all are talking about the same shit. The good thing about our show is we talk about us.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about us and like what we like, what we don't like, how
and if you don't like hearing about me, then fuck you, you know? I don't want you as a friend anyway.
No, I wouldn't say fuck you, but like you can find, you know, if you don't like listening to us talk about ourselves, then you can find something else. It's a lot of stuff out there. It's a lot of people doing podcasts. Shit. I saw an ad. I heard an ad for while I was listening to a podcast, and Chelsea Clinton has a podcast. I never heard Chelsea Clinton in my life speak. And I was like, yeah, it's Chelsea Clinton, and you should listen to my little podcast, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I never in my life said, I need to know what Chelsea Clinton think right now. Like, no, the fuck I haven't. Like,
so you all guess.
No, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I've never in my life wanted to hear Chelsea Clinton talk. Period. More Bill, though. I fuck with Bill. Hey, like, come on, like Bill, while he was running for president, showed up and played saxophone in the band on the Arsenio Hall show. That's the kind of motherfucker he is. Now, I know he did some fuck shit while he was actually in August, you know, the crime bill and all of that kind of stuff, but like, that is like the coolest fucking thing ever. That's like somebody like signing up to play an instrument with the Tonight Show. You know what I mean? Like now, like the Tonight Show, like I sat in with the Roots for a night. You know what I mean? You can't imagine Andrew Yang showing up to sit down with the Roots on the Tonight Show. It doesn't make any sense. No disrespect to Andrew Yang, but like if Andrew Yang showed up with a motherfucking flute, no, I have to change that because that would be. I think Andrew Yang is gay. He's the one that's gay, right?
Is he?
I think he might be the one that's gay, so I can't say flute. So he shows up. He shows up with a flugelhorn. There we go, flugelhorn. He shows up with a flugelhorn, and he wants to play with the fucking band. That's not anything that I'm just kind of like, yay, Andrew Yang. But fucking Bill Clinton showed up with a fucking saxophone. The Arsenio Hall show. Like, you know, that's fucking dope.
But yeah, I was gonna say something before all this shit, but I don't know what I was gonna say now.
Yeah, I took that away. I mean, but that's still a dope fucking thing, right? That's like the dopest fucking thing. Like the future president of the United States showed up to hang out in the band on Arsenio Hall when Arsenio Hall was the shit. You know what I mean? And he, you know, it wasn't just like, you know, I'm showing up to have a conversation and we're going to talk about my platforms and all this other shit. Like, no, I'm going to go sit with the band. I got my saxophone. We good, dog. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see anybody else being that cool and be like, we good, dog. Like, you can't imagine the current president being like, we good, dog, and then just show up with the band and sitting in with the ropes with a fucking triangle. We can't imagine that. I mean, okay, I don't think that he can play an instrument, but then maybe he can play the piano or something. But like, if he shows up with a triangle, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Or some spoons. You know what I'm saying? The spoon and a washboard.
It's saying Amazon just told me that the Oculus Quest 2 is back in stock.
Yeah, I care nothing about VR still.
But now you're single, so
I care nothing about the Oculus Quest or any VR. I have never cared about VR.
But now you're single, sir.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, the Oculus Quest and the Philips Light.
Unless you got some a haptic feedback suit, and and even that still ain't gonna feel right. No, I'm good. I'm old school. Just get a nigga some tissues. I'll be all right in a few minutes.
You gotta watch out with the lotions, man. Like sometimes you're like, all right, I'll grab that one. I'll grab that one. It's got mint and eucalyptus and tea tree, and it's just like my shit burn.
I'm a fucking adult, sir. Like, if I was gonna go that way, I'm gonna use some actual fucking water-based lube. Like, I'm not a fucking rookie at this, dog. Like, I ain't about to sit here with a fucking lotion like a fucking 15-year-old. What the fuck, yo? I'm gonna give me some Astroglide, and I'm gonna make this thing work for me. Not that I have any. I don't. But if I was to do this, that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing this like I'm not out here. I'm not about to be out here with no fucking. No.
That just sounds like how you feel when you're like listening to like Parliament Funkadelic. You're like, you know what I mean?
What? With Astroglide?
Yeah. Just like,
yeah, you gotta be on some shit though. Did you hit your Astroglide? Like, you gotta be on some shit though. Like, you gotta be on some PCP or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
I was at Barnes and Noble the other day, and they had P-Funk's that mothership or whatnot, and it was like all holographic, like the vinyl was. So I was like, dude, this shit's tight. But it was like Barnes and Noble process, so it was like $30 fucking, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of Clintons, we went from Chelsea. Now we're going to talk about George. I saw they just officially made him a honorary member of Omega Psi Phi, the fraternity. Now, for those who don't know anything about this fraternity, you want to be nowhere near them when his song Atomic Dog comes on. You want to run as far away as you can when Atomic Dog comes on. And they finally made him, because that's their theme song, and they finally made him an honorary member of Omega Psi Phi. And I think that is fucking dope.
Uh-huh.
I saw this video a long time ago, right? There was this it was like a parade or something like that. And I don't know, this white lady was just kind of drunk. I think she was inebriated. But these people, the Atomic Dog was on, and the Q Dogs were doing their little dance while moving through the parade. And she decided she wanted to dance too. And right when someone was about to knock her ass out, somebody, I'm guessing a friend, snatched her right. Like, it was like, I'm pretty sure she felt the wind from that hit that was about to come through her. Because if you're in the way of what they're doing, they still have to keep doing what they're doing. They can't move because of you. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's their dance. So, like, it's stepping, but like, that's their dance. So if you are in the way, you are going to get hurt. And these, Q Dogs are not necessarily, most of them are not necessarily the smallest people on earth.
Hey, guess what, man? I gotta take a piss.
Oh, yay. Alright, so I'm just gonna sit here and chill. My head hurts. So, how are you guys doing? I'm pretty sure Chase is gonna cut all of this out, so I don't have to really say a whole lot. But I hope you guys are doing great. I'm not doing great, but I'm doing actually pretty well. I wish my health was better, but other than that, I think I'm doing all right. And yeah. I hope to feel better and to be able to get back on some stuff. Like, I really want to play Mass Effect. I'm still not 100% sure that I really want to play Mass Effect 1, which is kind of like the big deal for me right now. I'm really not sure that I want to play Mass Effect 1 again. Because I swore off Mass Effect 1 until the remaster was made, and I just don't see much So far, because I haven't gotten to a Mako section yet or anything like that, and so I haven't gotten much in the way of like too deep into the game, so I can see what the actual changes truly are. And I'm playing on my OG Xbox One, so I'm not getting those frames and all of that other stuff, which would be nice if I actually had a Series X, but I don't. Alas. So Chase is back. Hi, Chase.
Hey, man. You know,
So,
I remember 2017. I washed the fuck out of my hands. You know, coronavirus. You know.
Coronavirus. Okay, so do you want to talk about just some consumption real quick?
I'm consuming Voodoo Ranger.
Okay, that's not what I was talking about.
Mass Effect. I beat Mass Effect 1.
You finished?
Yeah, man.
How much of the side content did you do?
I did as much as I normally do, which is pretty much anything that is an actual mission. That's not like just getting coins or whatever the fuck they're trying to get you to do, whatever. But just I don't want to make a mess on the floor, but you know, pour one out for Admiral Kohoko.
Okay.
And then you start working with Cerberus and Cyclone, so pour one out for Kohoko. But the Mako, man. The Mako is pretty much they kept the same like feel to where it still felt kind of that iconic Mako feel, where it didn't change how the Mako feels. But the one thing that they changed to make it better, if you notice when you were using the Mako, the which way you were going wasn't necessarily which way you were looking. You know?
Right.
Well, now they made it to where it's going to go which way you look. So it's going to play a little bit more warthoggy.
So it's more Halo, more like Halo.
Yeah. So that definitely changes the game. And, yeah, I think, for the most part, one, they kept its feel to feel like one, but then just little things to where, like, yeah, if you're an adept, you can use an assault rifle. It's going to shoot fine, right?
Yeah, I used a sniper rifle a couple times. I was just like, yo, I can fucking use a sniper rifle as a Vanguard.
Yeah, but you're still going to, like, want to, like, use your pistol more because you're going to, like, put specs into it and, like, it's going to, like, fucking two-shot. Why am I going to use my, even though I can aim the assault rifle now, why am I going to not use the pistol when I'm, like, two-shotting motherfuckers, you know?
Right.
But, yeah, I dug it. I really dug it. And I dug the character creation a lot because they really made it to where it's just a lot better. Like, and I know some people just go with the regular Shepherd, but I put like people that go with the regular Shepherd as in the same boat as people that are really fucking into Disney and go to like Disney World like every year. You know, it's like I can't really trust you. Like I like you, but I can't.
Yeah, if you go with the default view and you pick the complete default character where the character is just a soldier, I don't know if I trust you.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
But I just barely started 2, and I think the 2. There's a few things I think I was like, man, this looks fucking great. But I don't know if this is great because I'm on a 1440p monitor versus how much it actually looks better than what it actually looks like. But I think that 1 is a bigger jump than 2 and 3 is probably.
Yes. Well, they said that. They put the most work into 1. But, like, you have to understand, like, if you look at, like, the textures, especially of, like, enemies' armor, those textures were horrendous. Like, really fucking bad. It was like the military's digital camo, but, like, on everything.
dude, like, but you can't judge it on Rex though, because Rex on the fucking because I was like, man, Rex looks great on my PC, and then I go on the 360 and look at when Amber was playing on the 360 version back in the day, and I was like, Rex still looks great, dude. They put so much work into Rex, man. Rex looks amazing at all times.
Yeah, it's like playing Halo. Like Master Chief and like any character that you play yourself looks fucking fantastic. But sometimes you look at Johnson like, ew, what the fuck?
Yeah, God, those Halo Marines, man. They might as well have been on a PS1. You know what I mean?
Blocky as fuck, like it's just bad. But I mean, that's what I'm more interested in. I'm more interested in getting back to 2. I don't even think I care that much about getting back to 3. I just want to play 2 again.
Yeah, 2's so good. And I think, I don't know, maybe you're the same way, but I mean, you say you don't really care about cyberpunk as a genre, but like everybody loves 2, and I think that's the reason. Like that kind of like dirty but sci-fi like kind of feel that feels like 80s and 90s, like how Omega feels. It's just fucking rad, man.
I think personally I would care more about cyberpunk than I will ever care about fantasy. For some reason, fantasy does not hold my attention at all. I have tried. Is there 3 Dragon Ages? 3 main Dragon Ages? 1, 2, and Inquisition?
Yeah.
I have tried each of those games, and none of them can hold me. I just lose interest very fast. The only kind of fantasy game that I like playing is Fable, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that I dug, but I think it was just them being good games, like versus like actually wanting.
We can't really call Fable a good game.
I mean, come on, man, don't do that. Like, it's a good game. I know it's not what they promised, but it's still a good game. I enjoyed it.
Fable 2 I liked a lot.
Yeah.
Fable 3 I've only played through a couple times. Like I said, I think it was last time, or when we talked before, like my daughter wants to play through 3, but she was the one who bought Mass Effect, so she wanted to play Mass Effect so bad she bought it. She also bought Cyberpunk, so I have access to Cyberpunk if I ever do want to play it.
Oh, the Legendary Edition has the comic thing in it. Because I skipped it, but Amber watched it, and it's still... I was like, man, I should have watched that.
Yeah,
It's well done.
I don't really want to, because I don't want... There's things that I know that I would miss.
Nemesis Prime is up in this bitch's motherfucker.
What up, dog? I think there's elements that if you don't play the game that you're gonna miss, especially miss in later games, like Comrade Werner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not coming across Comrade Werner because you did because you did the comic book.
Well, I mean, she played the first one, but it still gives you the option to watch the comic book, which is cool because it's really well done.
Okay. Yeah, that's dope. I really would, I really just want to play through it all, like from beginning to end, and let this be kind of my definitive playthrough. I'm gonna tell you what happened to me.
Tell me what had happened. You know that's gonna be one of a sound bar. Whenever we do get like a sound fucking bar, what do you call it? Sound thing. But it's gonna like what had happened. This is what had happened.
This is what had happened.
Yeah.
So, of course, I wasn't playing the game, so I was watching someone play. And this person was playing for the first time. They were playing Mass Effect 1 for the first time. Mm-hmm. I think they played later games, possibly, but didn't finish them, but they had never played 1 before.
All right. With you.
So, this person... And you can't imagine the disgust I felt. Like, absolute disgust. So, they get into the game, they do Theros, go straight to Vermeer, and because you hadn't had that much time in the game, and you hadn't done Rex's loyalty, of course, he gets killed. Rex gets killed.
Yeah.
And this is all before he did the mission to get Liara. Went straight to fucking Theros. And then to fucking Vermeer. Can you imagine my absolute fucking disgust? And
that's the thing, because I was like going to talk to, because Mike is playing the Mass Effects for the first time, and then I was like, hey, I'll talk to you, because I don't want to spoil anything, but like how this is playing out, you're going to want to go to 1, 2, 3. You know, how they played, how the whole games were designed around you. Going to be like 2 or 3 years before the next one comes out, so they wanted you to play it over and over again. You might make a mistake, but that's alright. You want to play it again, right? Fuck. So I just,
fuck is this dude?
I don't know what the fuck is going on in chat, but I don't fucking give a shit.
Apparently they're talking about you. Said the white dude out here looking like Caitlyn Jenner. Man, if you don't get the fuck on with that shit. Get the fuck on. Like, yeah, like, it's just stupid. Like, fuck out of here. Black dude looking like a broke Rick Ross. I've gotten Rick Ross before. Okay, cool.
Damn.
Like, really, like, what difference does...
All right, let's go.
Did you block?
What was that fucking talk about?
Did you block?
Yeah, man. Drunk block.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that was just kind of stupid. Like, oh well, he'll be fine.
What was I saying?
I know we lost it because that dude just started talking shit. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that dude got his 15 minutes. So, yeah, you were talking about, you said Mike was playing for the first time, and you were like, go in this order.
Oh, yeah, because, like, I mean, when he did...
apparently he's not gone.
Well, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Yeah, Mike was going, and then he had already went to Novaria before, but he had did that before I got to talk to him, but I was like, oh, it's fine, but, you know, a little spoiler, but, you know, the girl that you're going to go get on Artemis Prime, or Artemis Tau, is her daughter, or whatever, you know what I mean? So, so, yeah. So yeah, it's setting it up to where he could play through it once without having to replay it. Oh, I made a mistake. Rex is dead, so I could do it again better the next time I play it, because you're going to play it. I mean, actually, the trophies for like getting a sorry loyalty or whatever, it's just playing 5 missions with them versus playing the whole fucking game with them. Which I hated those achievements, because you're going to make an achievement that's based on playing the game wrong. I mean, how are you going to play a game wrong? How are you going to play a game that has a squad base and just play it with fucking Ashley and Caden the whole fucking time? Like,
right? Who the fuck wants to do that?
So yeah, these new trophies made it more. The new trophies made it more what you call, like how you're actually supposed to play the game. Like, play 5 missions for this person. Play 5 missions.
We both got kids. We both got kids, dumb bitch. And I ain't never played World of Warcraft in my fucking life.
Yeah. But yeah. So playing 5 missions with this, play 5 missions with that. You know, that was fucking cool. So yeah. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, so do I look like an overweight Shaq, or do I look like an underweight Rick Ross? Like, which one is it? Like, you just saying shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers just be saying shit in the chat like it's actually doing something. Like, I don't fucking know what you do. Like, so, like, why do I give a fuck what you have to say? I think that, personally, I think this shit is funny. You're hilarious, sir. Or ma'am. They, them, however you fucking do this.
I mean,
they, them. You know, you got to respect people's pronouns. So apparently, they, them is like the alternative, because I don't want to accidentally call this person a sir or a ma'am. So I do they, them.
I mean, it's like. I mean, it's after like 1960, so I mean, Damage the Boss could be a female. I mean, because
I'm just going.
Women can be females too.
I'm just gonna say they them.
Dude,
they them.
Dude, this
they
was
them.
an entire fucking like mason jar full of like 9% IPA, and I just fucking. So, women can be females too.
They them is typing in the chat like a fucking brain damaged preteen and acting like it's really affecting anybody. Nah, I'm not going to your Instagram. Why the fuck would I give you any of my time? You beat the brakes off me. I like to see you try, sir. Ma'am. They them. I like to see you try. Just Google me. Why the fuck would I do that? Why the fuck would I do anything? You showed up into my live stream talking a whole bunch of shit that, to me, it shit sounded funny. But, like, why the fuck would I take this any further than this? I don't know you, dude.
Is dude a gender neutral pronoun?
For me, dude is gender neutral.
Yeah, okay.
I'm an MMA fighter. Okay, so you go train, motherfucker. Go do something else. You know what I mean? Like, you have other things to fucking do. Like, continue to get your fucking head bashed in. I don't give a fuck. MMA fighter don't stand up to hot lead. So, good luck, dog. I'm from Newport News, dog. That's not how we do this. I'm not about to fight you, dog. You getting fucked up, and you getting fucked up real fast.
So is this what happens when we live stream? It's the first live stream in 2 years.
Our first live stream in so long, and it's just like now someone just shows up. I bet you Rick Ross in his chest so hard his shoulders would touch.
Dude.
But if you
you know what's funny? I actually googled the damage to boss, and all I saw was like videos on how to damage bosses in various video games.
Oops, you're not as important as you thought you was. Weak nigga. Yeah, I'm fat. I love being fat. Like, I'm fat and I'll still take your girl or if you are a girl, I'll still take your girl because you're probably gay. Like, this shit's funny. This is hilarious, bro. Like, we totally had to show hijack, and I love this shit. So what else you got to say? Because you ain't saying shit. You ain't saying a motherfucking thing I ain't said about myself at some point.
and I'm drunk, so I'm just like fucking here, just scrolling through my fucking phone. This is great audio, you know.
He said you got a hairline like Vegeta. I mean, kind of. Kind of. Like, this dude got a hairline like the McDonald's logo. That's a stretch.
I mean, you would have to stretch it to get to the McDonald's logo, right?
Yeah. It's like it's like all the reaching right now, trying to hide his big ass forehead with his hand. Like, no, he's just fucking put his hand on his forehead because there's a little fucking kid retard in the fucking chat. What do you think someone, a grown ass man, would do? I'm enjoying this. I know that this does not make a good podcast, but I think, okay, so we probably should just wrap.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we should just wrap it up. I will say I started watching The Bad Batch on Google Disney Plus, and it's about a group of clone troopers, and it's actually been pretty good so far. The first episode is like an hour, and then the rest of them have been about half that, and it comes out every Friday, and it's been actually pretty decent. I enjoy it. And then other than that, Snowfall. I finally made it out of season 1 of Snowfall. And some people say that Snowfall is the best show on TV. Other people are stretching this shit and say it's better than The Wire. I don't know if it's better than The Wire, but it's really dope. It's really dope so far. And I'm only at the beginning of season 2. So I just closed the chat. I don't see this shit anymore. But yeah, I don't think I've done very much of anything else, so I don't really have anything else to talk about. I do plan on listening to the new J. Cole album. He just came out with a new album, and supposedly it's fire. So I'm gonna get around to listening to that soon. I know you don't like new rappers, but that dude is dope, and he's from your home state.
Sounds good, man.
You got anything else?
Nothing too much. I mean, it's just Mass Effect and, visiting family, man.
Yeah.
And fucking working.
Yeah. I feel that. I 100% feel that. Well, I guess that's the show. So, I mean, barring the fucking interruption from some sort of mentally challenged child, I think we had a good show. I think we talked about some interesting stuff, and not just like, I played this video game and I talked about it for a half an hour, like that type of shit. But I think we actually talked about some cool shit. And if you are petty like me, watch that Kwame Brown shit. That shit is fucking hilarious. Like, fucking hilarious. So do that. So thank you to everyone who checks us out every week. We went live and everything was going great. Everything was going great until this troll just kind of showed up, and even though I thought it was funny, he just kind of kept going, and the jokes just got old.
Trolls have regenerated health. And did you know that the troll face is actually the face of that Ernest makes an Ernest here stupid when he runs into the troll?
Really?
Yeah. It's like, whatever. I can't do it.
Bruh, Scott, I have no idea who this dude is. The dude just kind of showed up and just started talking a whole bunch of shit. So I have no idea. So
yeah,
I mean, good luck,
dude. I mean, if he's an MMA fighter or whatever, he's got the money. So I mean, hey, Patreon.
Yeah, hit the Patreon, and you might actually get that fight you asking for. But I promise you, it won't go the way you think, because I'm not showing up with just my fists.
We'll show up with hugs, motherfucker.
I'm fucking Indiana Jones your ass. You gonna show up with all this fucking karate size and shit, and I'm just going about my business. So, but I mean, I want to boogie. I want to boogie myself. You know what I mean? You hear about what happened with Boogie? You know that dude Boogie. Was it 2899 or something like that?
Oh yeah, where you did the warning shot, got arrested. Yes.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna be no warning shots. You come see me, I'm gonna fucking shoot your ass. And scene. So again, thank you everybody for listening to the show. You can catch us at all of the places. All of the information is in the show notes. There's a code to get 25% off anything from the store, ptcachandcrafted.com, which is Mayflowers 25. And so you can get some stuff there. And yeah, man, just go like, share, subscribe. There is a website, and I can't think of what the name of it, but there's a podcast app that Rashana uses for Return to Oswald. Okay, listen to Return to Oswald also, and Single Servant Podcast, which I'm on both. But there's a podcast app where you can do a review on each episode instead of just doing a review. In general, you could do a review on each episode. I'm gonna figure out what that is, and then I'm gonna I guess I'll start trying to bring that up when we do the deets going forward, because I'm gonna try to do the deets. Today that shit got fucked up, but I tried to recover, but it just kind of threw everything off. But again, thank you all, and we'll be back. Are we waiting until 2 weeks before we do the Nepo stuff, or are we doing it next week? We'll figure that out, and we'll let you know in the Discord. There's a Discord link in the description. Peace out to the Warriors, yeah.
Peace out to the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, later.
Like you're looking around like, I think there's something I'm supposed to say right now.
Did Black win?
Huh?
Scott said, did Black win?
Black win? Not yet. It's not. Are we still live?
Yeah.
Oh, we is going through the poll is going through next week. Right now, Black is winning. Unfortunately, I knew mine wasn't going to win. I had a feeling. I had a feeling that mine wasn't going to win because I just want Chase to play NBA Live. I don't really care if everybody else does.
Oh, I got what it meant. Okay. I was like, what does he mean by the Black win?
The game.
Yeah.
in the vote that you made the poll and you put it up. But as of right now, Black is still winning. There hasn't been a lot of votes, so right now Black still has a good chance. But I really want you to play NBA. I think that shit would be hilarious. Like live streaming, like not live streaming, but just recording it. I think that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so we good here?
I think so.
Peace, homie.
I gotta take a piss later.
Got the ball.
Scott, later.
Got the ball. Damage the boss. Thank you for the laughs. I don't know whether Damage the boss is gone because he just stopped talking, or maybe that block kind of went through too late. But Damage the boss. Thank you. Thank you for a little bit of laughter. He's got.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.